one important thing in this business is not about a product. It's not about a number. It is about people. And if you want to succeed, you need to somehow connect with people, create connections, authentic connections, and tell stories that move people. If you can really listen, inspire, create trust, be honest to yourself and to the other, that is what basically can separate like an average founder from a great founder knows that is always people first. And if you can develop really, and for communicating with people, you have to know the people, you have to listen to the people, take the time. And what it is called strategic listening, empathy, building trust, taking the time. And thank is much more than money, it's much more than gold too. And if you take the time to know that people, to know the people that you want to do business, first, then you can create incredible startups or incredible projects.
Welcome to Age of Reinvention, the podcast that celebrates the power of midlife transformation. I'm your host, Emily Braun, and today we have the inspiring treat. We are crossing borders and breaking barriers with our guest, Cecilia Kancepolsky, a dynamic force in Argentina's startup scene. Meet Cecilia, a true embodiment of reinvention. After a career in a technical education, Expat life, and leading high educational programs for adults in Ireland, she started her new entrepreneurial journey at 45 and is now the director of the Founder Institute Accelerator program in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's also entrepreneur and startup mentor, specializing in funding solutions for innovative projects. Her story is a remarkable testament to the empowering shift that comes with embracing entrepreneurship later in life. In this episode, Cecilia shares her insights into the unique resilience of Argentine entrepreneurs amid economic turmoil and vibrant potential of the silver generation 50-plus professionals driving innovation today. Whether you're contemplating a career pivot, dreaming of launching your startup, or being fascinated by global entrepreneurial trends, this conversation will be packed with invaluable wisdom and inspiration. So get ready to be inspired by Cecilia Kancepolsky's incredible transformation and expertise. Let's dive in. Hello, Cecilia. I welcome you to my Age of Reinvention studio today.
Oh, hi, Emily. Thank you so much. And I am really excited to be in your podcast.
Thank you again. And I'm excited to learn more about you and your transformation and life. And currently, you are one of the founders of Buenos Aires Founder Institute chapter. You are director. What unique challenges and opportunities do you see for entrepreneurs in Argentina and Latin America in general?
Wow. The challenges for entrepreneurs in Argentina, this is a great question to start with. And look, Emily, entrepreneurs in Argentina are how challenging and how much uncertain is economy and all the social crises and political crisis and, of course, economical crisis that we went through Argentina. And somehow entrepreneurs in Argentina are built differently. These changings and swingings were the norm, and somehow founders develop like a survival instinct, like nowhere else. I've seen entrepreneurs that besides you find incredible talent, that you find that the entrepreneurs can pivot, be adaptable, creative, and unafraid of risk, because risk is the norm. So risk is the everyday source. And they are qualities that I think are necessary for building companies or starting or being, to be an entrepreneur, basically.
So actually, I can say that the hardship in life and economic actually create special entrepreneurial spirit based on the experience of overcoming challenges. And it's not only in business, it's actually in life. I believe, and you can tell us more about some examples of entrepreneurial projects or special condition which make really this journey exceptional. And we will start with you. Your experience as an expat in Dublin has been transformative, as far as I understand. So, in addition to entrepreneur, you also lived in the different countries, lived and worked. How did your time in Ireland shape your approach to entrepreneurship and innovation?
I think that everybody that had lived in another country, everybody that has been through being an expat, knows how important it is, like, to pivot, to adapt, to understand a completely different way of life. And actually, the great thing about living in other countries that no one knows you, no one cares about you, and it actually can be refreshing and it would be a great freedom. You can be anything or anyone you want. And somehow it breaks a lot of limitations that people auto-impose on themselves. On my experience, when I came to Ireland, I was one person. When I left Ireland, I was another. I loved Ireland. I loved the Irish people. They have it's people that really stand on their values, people that are this kindness, family, and and loyalty. It's something that I find amazing, but also it's a very multicultural and innovative society. When I lived in Ireland, I really learned a lot how different ecosystems work and how can you adapt different ideas and projects, and actually how can things really work out, how make things happen. It was amazing.
So this experience actually fueled your entrepreneurship ideas. Or you probably were not entrepreneur like as today, but it was one of the building stone of your future transformation.
Definitely. And I think that actually when you move out of your own culture, you move out of your own limitations. And then it's really, when you're an expert, you're completely out of your comfort zone. There's no way.
But for many people, it's daunting. People are losing themselves. It's a big stress. That's why I'm really amazed as you show the other part of this coin, when people, in this case, you found that it's a new beginning. Because I know from my actually immigration experience in new country, maybe because I was coming without language knowledge of not maybe it's the big part of the feeling yourself comfortable, but when you are too much out of your comfort zone, it takes time to understand the realities, yes, environment. But probably when you are older and more mature, so you look at this differently. Am I correct?
Yes, completely. As actually, but for an expat, that can be actually an unfair advantage. You have developed, as you were completely of your comfort zone. And what you say about language is not a minor thing. The way that you communicate, you need to communicate, and you have to put so much energy into learning not only the language, but the codes, the things that are spoken and not spoken though. And learn the strategies and know the mindset and all these different things that you assume as normal and perhaps are just a cultural customs. It's not and really gives you an incredible opportunity and actually builds up your entrepreneur mindset, because if you can succeed, you can make friendship, you can get it work. Even if you can teach in another language that is not your own, then getting back into your comfort zone, it's no way, it's much wider.
Very interesting perspective. I really commend you for this, because many people are afraid of unknowns, uncertainty of the new life, especially later in the life. Kind of young people, I would say, quickly changing the environment. At least they have potential, yes. For people older in life, it takes more time, but probably for Argentinians like you, there are more opportunities to discover some new ideas and actually get together with the people. And you emphasize the importance of soft skills like empathy and strategic listening. How can midlife professionals cultivate these things to reinvent their careers? What would you say?
Wow, I think it's a great question. And let's think about how would you reinvent yourself? How would you change your career? I think that there were no time that you value youth, you value beauty, and but somehow we underestimate all the incredible skills, all the incredible human skills that come with living life, with age. And one important thing in this business is not about a product. It's not about a number. It is about people. And if you want to succeed, you need to somehow connect with people, create connections, authentic connections, and tell stories that move people. If you can really listen, inspire, create trust, be honest to yourself and to the other, that is what basically can separate like an average founder from a great founder. Knows that is always people first. And if you can develop really and communicating with people, you have to know the people, you have to listen to the people, take the time. And what it is called strategic listening, empathy, building trust, taking the time. And time is much more than money, it's much more than gold too. And if you take the time to know that people, to know the people that you want to do business, first, then you can create incredible startups or incredible projects.
From your experience, you mentioned in our previous conversation being passionate, that you are being passionate about finding innovative solutions that connect technologies with authenticity and values. It's what you started to elaborate on. Can you more extend on this philosophy, like exponential technologies and our soft skills?
Wow. I love that question. Definitely, I love this question. When you talk about technology, somehow there's an idealization of technology. And the point is that technology, but for what purpose? What is the problem that it is this technology is solving out? Usually when you think about making a startup, the first question it is, what it is the problem that I want to solve? why my solution would be better than any other solution that are there, and why me? What is my secret sauce for solving this problem? And really believe that technology should serve a purpose. Too many in startups are looking for being innovative, for creating the top IE, to have this incredible number, to go for this amazing market. But what it is your purpose? Is that it has to be an alignment with your core values and the purpose you are using this technology for. Once you know that, and know that this solution that you are solving out with technology also is something that are solving something that it is real and making somehow people's life easier or better, or then you can build up an incredible business out of this. The key point is that people are not buying the technology, they are buying solutions. And that's a big mistake that many founders makes. I've seen it a lot.
Do you see some really dynamic, exponential dynamic lately in Argentinian startup market ideas?
Yes, definitely. The Argentinian, how to say, it's now things are changing a bit, but it's been a market that it was a very small market, very difficult market, with tons of regulations and very difficult to get your projects founded. And yes, the point it is that into this very difficult scenario, actually somehow it is like a bit extreme scenario, I would say, but it is a bit extreme. This can be like a boot camp for innovation, boot camp for resilience, boot camp for developing a lot of skills. And somehow most of the entrepreneurs you would find in Argentina are not, let's say, a specialist in one single thing. If they have a very diverse skills and they try to specialize in many different things and cross abilities and cross skills. And that's where innovation comes out. And when you take people from Argentina, the talents from Argentina are incredible, into a more stable and scenario, they normally thrive, and it's great, incredible results.
As someone who believes in being disruptive in business, how do you balance innovation with maintaining core values in business, especially nowadays?
Yes, core values should not be negotiable. Core values is when you start a business first, before even thinking of the business, you have to be honest with yourself. What things you can negotiate, what things are not negotiable? Are things that are, let's say, honesty, kindness, truth, and also justice. There's many things that has to build up the respect, dignity. And when you want to build up a business, it's not only building a product. It has to do with people and has to do an alignment in the vision and in the values of the people that you want to do business with. There are some people that you even, if it would be, let's say, in the financially a great business, it's not worth. And actually, when I really believe that it's a good business doing the things right, and to look for goodness. I don't know if I answer.
Yes, I understand that I put you in situation asking actually a lot of hard questions which require a lot of time, and we are trying to move forward, but I believe that your message is clear, at least I'm clear, and we will be elaborating on it, because my next question, you've worked across different cultures and countries. How does this global perspective influence your approach to mentoring entrepreneurs in Argentina? And how actually it's different from the style you witnessed in Ireland?
Yes, that's a very great question. I'm mentoring founders and entrepreneurs mostly in the Founder Institute program, but also another program for women entrepreneurs. And one thing is that sometimes I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs that are incredible in their solutions. Sometimes they love their solution, they are too much in love with their solutions. And they are somehow afraid to confront with the real world. And sometimes what I saw a lot is that many of the entrepreneurs would like to have things perfect before start doing things. It sounds a contradiction, but it's the way it happens. They're really looking for the perfect solution, the perfect platform, the perfect moment, the perfect founding, and that's never going to be perfect. The mentality I always try to pass to founders, it is better done than perfect. Start with whatever you have, then improve on the way. But start doing. Start as small as you can, but fast. Don't wait for the perfect moment. And usually also in some international programs that you have just an idea and it's much easier to get founded. In Argentina, it's not. So the best way is start as small as you can. Go to the market, get people to actually pay for what you have to offer, and then show some traction and go to speak with ventures, but start. Don't wait for perfection. That's the main message I'd like to pass.
It's a good advice, but when I'm thinking about myself, and now I'm in a stage when I'm launching new project, I'm not sure that it's perfectionism, which part of me probably as well. But when I'm looking to North American market, there are so many offers, and people became picky. There's many, at least advertisement about different community options, services, product, that in order to get attention of your people, your target auditory, you need to offer some professionally looking solution, at least from the beginning. You cannot just go on a simple page. And with technology, lately, people really became picky, less attention span to understand, to read. So you need to pick the attention in kind of 8 seconds. It's what latest statistics is proving us. Yes, I understand that the business model cannot be perfect. Yes, like the big solution cannot be quickly proved by reality. But I think that starting point, like launchpad, at least should be professional. What would you say?
I think that it's very important to be professional, and it's very important to do the best you can do. Whatever you have, just do the best you can do. And also there's always a secret sauce. If you can find your unique secret sauce, and that's where storytelling comes in. If you can create a powerful story, and somehow people think that you have to be very creative to look for a story or look for a story that stands up. Actually, it is not. This simplest story, the most authentic stories. The truth has so much power. People don't understand how something that is real, that is truth. If you tell, and everybody went through so many things, if you really tell your own story or the story that moves you, the power that there is amazing.
And when you tell story in practical terms, do you mean presentation of your vision or company or solution, yes? Like in what format you're working on telling stories?
Your why. Basically, why are you willing to do what you want to do? What moves you? If you look, okay, what makes me wanted to do? To start a platform, to go beyond my comfort zone, to communicate with others, to launch a podcast, or to start a startup, to be an entrepreneur, to travel, to live abroad, to build up your own business. Why? What's your pain? Do you want to help others? Why do you want to do this?
I have my why, but my why should actually coincide with market demand, or I would say with market necessity. So it's what I noticed that in some teaching, at least, like you need to look at the market, you need to adjust your idea, which actually may be your why, to the market demands. And in different countries, it might be different, but what you would say about it?
Somehow, there's not one market. Now, the possibility that communicating with people is global. There's so many people, and the most unexpected people can really connect with other people. If you look, let's say, at influencers, there's not anymore the perfect presenter from the TV. There's not the perfect lighting, the perfect cameras. And the competition is equal from the kid in their home with using their cell phone to the presenter in the best TV program. There's now the competition fields are equal and gives and possibilities, the most incredible possibilities. If you open your horizons, if you really can imagine and see that, and you never know, when you really tell an honest why and something that you would be surprised how many people will tell you, wow, it's the same that happened to me.
Okay, I will check it soon on myself because I'm launching some startup, my new project as well. But back to your story, can you elaborate on the contrast you observed between the entrepreneurial mindset and the more risk-averse attitude of your friends from the artistic backgrounds, comparing the two groups, maybe entrepreneurs in a business with entrepreneurs with artistic directions?
Wow, that's a great question. I've seen many projects where they try to connect business people with scientists. Somehow, the people, for example, in science were not great in businesses. And there's many accelerators that are connecting this, matching these 2 points. And what I believe in this era of artificial intelligence, of innovation, that somehow the hard skills that were so overvalued perhaps are now being challenged by the artificial intelligence, and there's some things that AI can do, but now there's a time where the most human talents that were very much undervalued are coming into a stage. Some of the were called soft skills and actually are superpowers. And there's a lot of people that have this background that were struggling with art, and I really believe that it's necessary and it's very important to match business mindset with artistic mindset. And what can come together, that would be amazing. They would be like an exponential jump in the solutions they can get and the innovation they can get.
Bridge is possible only via AI or other technology? It's what you're saying?
I would say the very opposite. I would say that now that AI is solving out so many hard skills programs, we need to start evaluating the human talents, the human skills, the human even weaknesses, or the human vulnerability, the human creative talents. And that things that were always so as a bit, well, okay, the artistic soft skills, nowadays can be a good superpowers. And I really mean superpowers. But what I also see is that many artists have not the business mindset.
Yes. I know from my friends and scientists that they are brilliant in their areas, but sometimes in kind of day-to-day life, they're just different. They think differently.
Completely. And that's where it is so important to build bridges between these two worlds. You cannot ask artists, you have to let your art and become a business person. Perhaps they would not, and they would not be as good in business. But the thing is that it would be great to match, to create more interdisciplinary teams in the startups and match all, include artists in the teams.
It's probably what you're doing now. Yeah. Do you have such a project in Buenos Aires chapter?
Oh my, I always very disruptive. I am absolutely, I always, most of the entrepreneurs that come in to the accelerator, to Founder Institute, are coming from engineering or from IT and very hard skills, and I always challenge them and make things look in a completely different way. And it happened a lot where someone wrote me their pitch, and after a while I heard it, the 3-minute speech, and I said, I'm so sorry, but can I destroy this speech? And actually they get happy with the feedback I get.
Because it's a different opinion and kind of I know myself, like we are so boiled sometimes in our own thoughts and visions that we need, at least I very appreciate opinion from the professional with different point of view. And I believe it's one of your high skills to see this special idea or some special solution which might come from this idea. Yes. Mm. And again, I'm lately especially interested in Argentina. And as I'm planning my first visit to Buenos Aires and Argentina, I'm also excited. I know that Argentina has faced significant economic challenges for years. How do you see and know, and you already mentioned something about it, that this crisis shaped the entrepreneurial spirit in the country? And who is active now in Argentinian startup environment? Like young people or experienced a silver generation, I would say?
I've seen that now it's the ecosystem is amazing. It's an ecosystem that been for so long, like working against the current and challenges over challenges. But there's incredible, the ecosystem is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And you would see from very young entrepreneurs to very experienced entrepreneurs. There's a lot of silver generation entrepreneurs. There's a lot of women entrepreneurs. And there's a lot of programs for women into entrepreneurship. I've been through one of the best programs for women into entrepreneurship. That's actually WISE from the YAI Business School. As it was absolutely amazing, really, wow, eyes-opening. And I think that the important thing is like to go through, connect the generations, to connect the fire and the passion of young entrepreneurs with the experience and the know-how, but also the network that more silver generation entrepreneurs have. And I think that is what is happening. If you can connect this fire and passion with, but also silver entrepreneurs have such incredible passion, and they have the experience, the insight, the ability to adapt and to think twice, and even to accept when they are wrong and to start again. I think that, yeah, I'm so happy that you're coming to Argentina because the ecosystem is great, it's amazing.
And I'm thinking now, listening to you, and even was thinking earlier, preparing to our conversation today, that it would be good connecting expat in Argentina, or actually to bring professionals to be expat, to live in Argentina and connect them with local entrepreneurs, because I believe it will benefit the startup ecosystem in Argentina. And what you would say, what type of industry or what type of business direction is needed for Argentina as of today?
I think that this idea that bring expats or we bring entrepreneurs is fantastic. The Argentinian ecosystem is very open, and yes, and actually now the main verticals into the ecosystem are, of course, fintech. There's a lot of startups working on fintech and crypto and agriculture, of course. There's a lot of agriculture. It has to do with the necessary for, we have the big land and the big pampas. There's a lot of, I don't know, there's a broad spectrum of startups, and actually I think it's fantastic if any entrepreneur that would like to come over is most welcome, and personally if I can give any help would be most happy to.
But as far as I know, entrepreneurs are attracted to the countries and places where is more economic freedom, less regulation, because with regulation, it's very hard to develop something, as you mentioned earlier. And I understand that shift is started in Argentina with new president Javier Milei, but is it already in a stage that like there is enough opportunities and less issues for new people to come to Argentina? What do you think about it?
Definitely there is. And I tell you why. Argentina been for over 100 years on this collectivist with socialist mindset.
I'm surprised, by the way, sorry, like how Argentina and why Argentina get to this socialistic ideas, which kind of geographically are so far away from the like Eastern Europe I was growing up. How it happened that Argentina became like moving in the socialistic direction?
Wow, that's a great question, and I will need 2 hours to answer.
Okay. Maybe we will leave it for the next because it's what I have in my mind. Actually, I need to learn more about history of Argentina. It's my homework to do. But this question was really in my mind, especially when I started to compare Argentina with Uruguay, which kind of the next door. And I would say it's more conservative from economic point of view, different regulation, kind of two countries, one small, one big, and so different economic structure and actually results over the years. Because when people see neighbor living differently, they kind of get idea maybe to change something in your home. At least I'm thinking this way. And I would visit Uruguay as well because I learned that it's like Switzerland of Latin America, and I'm very curious, even with all changes. And I like spirit of Argentina and cultural environment and all this. But I was thinking about the difference about the two neighbors of the countries.
I love Uruguay. It's an amazing country, and people there is fantastic. Somehow, the economy in Uruguay is a bit, yes, it's as you say, it's the Switzerland in Latin America. It has stability. It has been they have a great democracy, and they didn't have all this insanity and economical crisis. But also, you would see in the entrepreneurial ecosystem how is the so different mindset, the resilience, the making the impossible possible that you will find in one side of the Rio de la Plata and the other. It's in Uruguay. It's more stable, more structured, and somehow I think if you see all the challenges as an, let's say, unfair advantages, you would see that Argentina, through all these hardships, through all this instability, crisis, risk, uncertainty, build up some kind of skills that if you apply that into entrepreneurship, that is an insane advantage. And what I would say about what you say about Javier Milei is like he is already afuera, like taking afuera means out, taking away so many dozens and hundreds of insane bureaucracy and regulations, and starting to make the economy to work out. Every day he's cleaning up something, and I believe that when you take away all these insanity regulations, the talents you would find, and the businesses you would find, and the potential it has is incredible, it's great. And why am I telling this? Because for expats and entrepreneurs, still you can, if you start something here, still you would find amazing talent, affordable, still very affordable. And there's opportunities that are, it's like completely opening up. And this is the momentum. I really believe that. And it's not I believe, I've been looking a lot into Twitter, into international attention and what's going on, and it is really a unique opportunity and a momentum.
I know that number of at least young entrepreneurs and Argentinians left country over the years, moving to Mexico, where I met several Argentinians. There's a whole Argentinian communities, to Spain, to Canada, like different countries. Do you believe or do you see they coming back home to Argentina?
There's some that is starting to come back. Still there's a long way to go, and still there's a lot to build up. There's a long way. I cannot tell, wow, everything is great, everything is perfect. It's just this change is so recent, having only 1 year. But in 1 year, there's changing completely the foundation of the economics in the country and the economics in the full entrepreneurial ecosystem. There's already big companies that are starting to think about investing and creating innovation, AI hubs in Argentina because they see that there's an opportunity.
Okay, we will continue our conversation later. And now going back to our topic, an age of reinvention for the midlife professionals, looking at your career journey, what advice would you give to our listeners who are considering or maybe thinking about significant career shift or starting a business in midlife, but still hesitating? What would be your message?
I would just say forget the age. If you have the experience, the insight, the passion, you have this ability to adapt, if you have, you have an advantage, and the network that makes the full difference. You have an advantage over the young founders. Young founders don't have that. And let's say you have also the resilience, and I think that you can create a great business. Actually, why not?
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for your time, advice, shared insights, and we will continue our conversation this year alive, for me being in Paris and online. Thanks again for coming to share with my listeners.
Thanks a lot to you, Emily. And yeah, I'm so happy. It was amazing to be in your podcast. And yes, and if anyone wants to contact me, you can reach out in LinkedIn. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I will put your LinkedIn profile and company website, Founders Institute, to the description. Thanks a lot and see you soon. And that brings us to the end of the incredibly inspiring conversation with Cecilia Ruth Kancepolsky. What a journey we've explored. From the trials and triumphs of Argentina's economic landscape to the powerful wave of midlife entrepreneurship. Cecilia's story reminds us that age is not a barrier, but a badge of experience and wisdom. One of the key takeaways from today is the undeniable power of resilience and adaptability. Cecilia has shown us that reinvention is not only possible at any age, but can also be the catalyst for profound personal and professional growth. If Cecilia's journey has motivated you to think differently about your potential for reinvention, we'd love to hear your stories. Connect with us on social media or leave us a review. Your experiences and feedback make this community vibrant and dynamic. And remember, Age of Reinvention is here to bring you more stories of incredible midlife transformations. Subscribe to stay updated and inspired by our future episodes. Thank you for joining us today. Keep dreaming big, stay curious, and never stop reinventing yourself. Until next time, this is Emily Braun signing off. Stay inspired.